All right, my friends, I want to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine because I went to go see it last night and it was awesome. It was fun, it was cool. It was everything you would want as a 90s kid. Even X-Men 97, pulling you back in a little bit to get hyped for this movie. But it's an interesting thing for me because Deadpool 1 and 2 had some depth to it. There was, relationships, there was loss, there was even now there is a real, Wade Wilson wants to feel like he matters. And like that, it's everybody can relate to that. But what I don't love about this movie and other MCU movies, you have Captain America, who is obviously a comic legend, Iron Man, Thor, but all of these characters, Rocket Raccoon, I'm telling you, Rocket Raccoon's one of my favorites, but it's that idea. They just took a raccoon and gave him such depth to his character that they had me weeping tears in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And maybe we can get there. I think Logan had the depth, which I think they did talk about, like not touching that or dishonoring that. I love that. But I don't know that I want to see more of this Wolverine. And that's a weird feeling for me because the yellow suit, the mask, the whole thing, it feels so different because you're not attached to, and it did feel like a different version. I thought Hugh Jackman was good in that sense of like the Logan we have known, that person from X-Men Days of Future Past that goes into Logan. It's not the same X-Men. It's not the same Wolverine. It's not the same person. But he's got, like, they tried to give some depth to it of like, this ambiguous backstory of how all the X-Men died and he just went apeshit. It's like, oh, cool. Thanks for sharing with the class. But there's no true, like, real sense of, again, like, it was, even Gambit, it was cool to see him. It was cool to see Channing Tatum because we talked about it for so long. But it was the voice, like, that became a joke where it kind of just, minimizes his character as a side, laughing. And it's funny. And that's very Deadpool. But I did think it maybe sets up, or maybe they address it in later movies where you can really deepen the characters' backstories and actually give a damn, because it did feel, obviously, the fan service. It makes sense. It's almost too meta for me of like the TVA is Disney, controlling all these timelines, these movies, and how they tie into one another or how they can tie into one another. But if they go into all this stuff with Secret Wars and kind of the next portion of Marvel, I think it would be cool to have some of these team movies if it's, X-Force, because obviously Wolverine being tied into that, X-23, so on and so forth. But I just want some depth to it because I think movies like The Dark Knight, even other MCU films where you're really getting, attached to and you really care about what happens to these people. And I think that it kind of lacked that for me a little bit. And maybe it's the cheesy, like not cheesy, but it is a tie-in to family, and maybe that will grow on me. But I'd give it a solid 7.75 out of 10.